Chelsea Football Club has received a major boost ahead of the busy weeks of domestic and European competition, as their Ukrainian winger, Mikhailo Modryk, has officially been cleared to return to first-team training. The 23-year-old forward, who had recently been sidelined due to a combination of minor fitness concerns and an off-field suspension imposed by footballing authorities, is now free to rejoin his teammates and prepare for selection. The decision to declare Modryk eligible again has been greeted with widespread relief by the club, coaching staff and supporters who have long been waiting to see him consistently contribute to Chelsea's attacking setup. For manager Enzo Maresca, the availability of Modryk comes at an important time, with Chelsea balancing the demands of the Premier League, domestic cups and European fixtures. The saga surrounding Modryk's brief absence had become one of the more frustrating talking points for Chelsea supporters. Ever since his high-profile transfer from Shakhtar Donetsk in January 2023, Modryk has lived under intense scrutiny, with fans and pundits constantly debating whether he could justify his massive price tag and fulfill the potential that made him one of Europe's most sought-after young wingers. His speed, dribbling flair, and fearless directness on the ball were never in doubt, but consistency and adaptation to the physicality of the Premier League had sometimes been questioned. When the news broke that Modryk would be unavailable for selection due to disciplinary and fitness-related reasons, frustration deepened, with many fearing that this was yet another setback in a stop-start Chelsea career. However, the recent clearance has completely changed the mood, symbolising a fresh opportunity for Modryk to re-establish himself as a vital piece of the puzzle. Chelsea's training ground at Cobham is expected to be the scene of renewed energy as Modryk prepares to reintegrate with his teammates. The coaching staff have planned specific sessions aimed at gradually reintroducing him into full training intensity, ensuring that his body is fully prepared for the high demands of competitive football. Sources inside the club suggest that Modryk has been working tirelessly on his conditioning during his time away from the main squad, focusing on strength, balance, and end product. The winger himself is said to be highly motivated, having taken the recent difficulties as a wake-up call to prove to his critics that he has the mentality to succeed at the highest level. Those close to the player have described him as hungry and determined, ready to show that the challenges of the past months will only make him stronger. Manager Enzo Maresca has already hinted in press conferences that Modryk's return could be pivotal for Chelsea's tactical flexibility. Unlike some of Chelsea's other forwards, Modryk offers raw pace and a fearless willingness to take on defenders in 1-versus-1 situations. His ability to stretch defences on the left flank creates more space in central areas for strikers like Nicholas Jackson and creative midfielders such as Cole Palmer. Maresca has often emphasised the importance of wingers who can disrupt opposition lines, and Modryk, when in form, embodies exactly that. The manager believes that once Modryk finds rhythm and confidence, Chelsea's attack could take on a far more dangerous dimension, especially against teams that prefer to sit deep and crowd central areas. The timing of this clearance could not be more significant. Chelsea are approaching a run of fixtures that will test the depth and resilience of their squad. With injuries to several key players already complicating squad selection, having Modryk back in contention provides much-needed depth and variety in attack. It also relieves some of the burden on younger players who have shouldered heavy responsibility in recent weeks. Fans on social media have already expressed excitement at the possibility of seeing Modryk line up alongside Raheem Sterling and Cole Palmer, forming a dynamic attacking trio that combines pace, creativity and unpredictability. The dream for many Chelsea supporters is that Modryk, with his regained freedom to play, will finally unlock the potential that justified the club's heavy investment in him. For Modryk personally, this moment represents more than just a return to training. It is a chance to rebuild his reputation and silence critics who have too quickly labelled him a failed signing. His journey since arriving in London has been anything but smooth. Cultural adaptation, language barriers, and the weight of expectation all played their part in his struggles. Yet, throughout his challenges, Modryk has retained the backing of many teammates and coaches who believe in his talent. Being cleared to play again now offers a clean slate. If he can translate his work on the training ground into consistent performances on the pitch, Modryk has every opportunity to rebrand himself not as a misfit, but as one of the cornerstones of Chelsea's future. The club's medical team and fitness coaches are also optimistic. Reports indicate that Modryk's physical data from training has been highly encouraging, with improvements noted in sprint speed, endurance, and recovery times. He is believed to be in the best condition he has been since joining Chelsea, which further fuels optimism about his immediate impact. Teammates too have welcomed him back warmly, recognizing how much he can contribute. Some insiders at Cobham have mentioned that Modryk's return has already lifted the mood in training, with players visibly excited at the thought of having another dangerous option to rely on during matches. Beyond the tactical and sporting aspects, there is also a psychological boost associated with Modryk's reinstatement. For a club that has often struggled with morale during difficult periods in recent seasons, the return of a high-profile player with renewed determination can galvanise the dressing room. Chelsea's fans, long accustomed to drama surrounding injuries and suspensions, finally have a positive development to celebrate. The images of Modryk training again in full Chelsea kit are expected to flood social media platforms, generating optimism ahead of upcoming fixtures and giving supporters fresh hope that the tide may be turning in their favour. In the wider context of the Premier League, Modryk's clearance could also reshape the narrative around Chelsea. Rivals had begun to dismiss the London club as a side in transition, struggling to integrate expensive signings into a coherent unit. Now, with Modryk returning alongside other improving players, Chelsea's attacking threat suddenly looks far more serious. Opposition managers will once again need to plan for the Ukrainians' blistering pace and unpredictability, factors that can change the complexion of any game. Should Modryk rediscover his confidence in front of goal, Chelsea could climb the table more quickly than many expect, turning doubters into believers. For now, the immediate focus is on Modryk's reintegration into matchday squads. It remains to be seen whether Maresca will throw him directly into starting lineups or prefer to ease him in gradually with substitute appearances. Either way, the key is that Modryk is back and available, and that alone is a victory for Chelsea. The long-term vision remains clear: to build a team capable of challenging at the top again. And for that vision to be realised, players like Modryk must play central roles. The Ukrainian winger knows this, and all signs suggest he is ready to embrace the challenge wholeheartedly. In conclusion, the news that Mikhailo Modryk has been cleared and is set to begin training with the rest of the Chelsea squad represents a turning point in what has been a difficult chapter for both the player and the club. It is a moment filled with hope, opportunity, and renewed belief. Chelsea fans will now watch eagerly to see whether this marks the beginning of Modryk's long-awaited breakthrough in England. If he can harness his undeniable talent and combine it with consistency, Chelsea may finally have the star winger they envisioned when they brought him to Stamford Bridge. Only time will tell, but one thing is certain: Modryk is back, and Chelsea's story this season has gained a new spark of excitement.